introducing the introducer. And today it's my pleasure to introduce up here Brandon Flower. Brandon is a staff member. He handles all of our legal program. Brandon was the West Virginia University Mountaineer when I was a citizen here in 1999. Brandon served 2 terms as the West Virginia University Mountaineer and has gone on to a very distinguished career and is now a U.S. attorney. So without further ado, I present Brandon Flower.
Hey, thank you guys. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce to you the afternoon speaker at this assembly. Many of you will recognize the name, and many of you, probably more of you, will even recognize the voice of the Mountaineers. And I'm happy to introduce Mr. Tony Caridi today. Tony's a native of Lockport, New York, where he grew up and then matriculated to Syracuse University, where he earned an undergraduate degree. But then, as luck would so happen, he happened upon a job in Morgantown, West Virginia, in 1984, moved to West Virginia to work for WAJR. In 1986, joined West Virginia Metro News. And then in 1987, is that correct, when you began your tenure with WVU?
Yep, right around that, yeah.
All right. Began broadcasting football and basketball games for the Mountaineers. From that point on, his voice is unique. It's beloved. He is the voice of the Mountaineers now, of multiple generations now. He had a difficult job replacing the legendary Jack Fleming. I will say he has done a more than adequate job. To me, Tony is the voice of the Mountaineers. He's the voice I know and recognize through my lifetime of being a Mountaineer fan, beginning in the 1980s. If you listen to the radio broadcasts of the Mountaineers, football and basketball, it's Tony's voice you hear. Those famous catch lines that I won't repeat because he's here, and maybe he'll be able to do it for you, but that are so recognizable, and whether you're in West Virginia, outside of West Virginia, when you hear Tony's voice calling a game, you're home. In addition to his wonderful work with WVU, he's an acclaimed children's author, and more recently is one of the tri-hosts of the world's most popular sports podcast, Three Guys Before the Game. Do we have any followers, listeners here? Oh, look it up, guys. Follow it. Start listening to it. Wonderful podcast all about WVU sports. Great guests. Y'all might learn a lot about food, other things, little tangents. It is the most listened to podcast covering West Virginia University basketball and football, according to Chartable. And according to Apple Podcasts, from what I could find today, the number 229 podcast on Apple, which is pretty darn good being from West Virginia, guys. That's overall. Without any further ado, it is my pleasure and my honor to bring you some words of wisdom. The one, the only, the voice of the Mountaineers, Mr. Tony Caridi.
Top of the day to you. I've got 15 minutes. I got a clock winding right now. It won't take one more minute than I need. How you guys doing? Good? Good. Great to see you here. It's been a long time since I've been here to Boise State. I always enjoy doing this. You being here puts you guys in a very special category. As you guys know, and you'll learn through the course of this week here, this is a wonderful history of our state of West Virginia, and so many of our leaders that have gone on and done well in our world have come through Boise State, so it's my honor to be back here with you today. I'll preface what I'm about to tell you with this. and that is, this is one person's opinion that you're about to hear. Just mine. Doesn't mean that it's right. Doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just my view of things now that I'm 61 years old. Got to West Virginia, as he said, 7 weeks after I graduated from college. Didn't know where West Virginia was. Needed a first job. I thought I'd be here for 6 months, 40 years ago. Time flies fast. You'll hear people say, time's going to go by fast. And I think you can ask yourself that question. When you got to high school and it was 9th grade, you said, man, I got to do 4 years of this. 9th grade went by pretty fast, and then 10th probably went faster, now 11th, and now here comes your senior year. It only is going to go quicker. So here's some things I want to share with you as you guys get ready to jump into this world. Random points. You need to listen more than you talk, because we talk more than we listen. And if you listen more than you talk, you'll have greater value. Because sometimes we just don't listen even though people are telling us things that we need to know. Old man sitting on a street corner in Italy sees a guy drive by. The guy's got a donkey with a cart full of fruit on the back of it, loaded up. Guy needs directions. Guy on the donkey looks over at the old man and he says, I need to go here. How long does it take to get there? And the old man looked at him and he said, if you go fast, it'll take you 2 hours. If you go slow, it'll take you 30 minutes. He said, wait a second, you had that turned around? He said, no, if you go fast, it'll take you 2 hours. If you go slow, it'll take you 30 minutes. So the guy looks at him, says, okay, old man, he's crazy. Cracks the donkey takes off, takes the first turn. As soon as he goes over that first turn, going fast, up and over the hill, and everything went down. The donkey, the cart, and everything. Took him 2 hours to clean it up, get back on the road. If he'd gone slow, take him 30 minutes because he wouldn't fall. Sometimes people tell us the things that we need to know, and we think we already have the answer. Listen. Pay attention. Phones. And I don't see any, so you probably have had those taken away from you. Phones, man, I don't know what's going on. The greatest invention and the worst invention. Because all of us put our head into that phone and we tune people out. And that's the biggest turnoff for people when you're trying to communicate. So basically, if I'm trying to talk to someone and they've got that phone in my face, what they're telling me without saying it is, you're not as important as what I'm doing here. I'm not dealing with you. Keep that in mind, guys. It's basically telling someone you don't matter to them. Put it away. Trust me, your life will go on. Your heart will beat. And when the time is proper to put your phone up, then get into your phone. Don't use it as a crutch. As you go through the course of this week, you're going to be put into groups. You're going to have to build this government. And through this, you're going to have to do a lot of negotiation, a lot of conversation. I personally think right now in our world, we're at an absolutely terrible, terrible spot, like I've never seen before, in extremism. Either one side is absolutely right, or one side is absolutely wrong, and there's no middle anymore. And if you're on this side over here and you're looking at this side over here, they're the worst people in the world. They're absolutely horrific people. It's just terrible. And then the same as I said over this one. It's not supposed to be like that. It didn't used to be like that. These attacks and all of the decency that we used to have and the ability to talk with people and to try to find a middle to get things moving, that's how it used to work. That's how this thing was structured to work. Extremism, my way is the only way, the right way, is bullshit. Plain and simple. And all that will lead to is further trouble down the road. It leads to trouble local governments, state governments, national governments, internationally. What you guys unfortunately are seeing and experiencing right now is not the way we got to where we are today. So don't buy into it because maybe you don't realize there's another way to do this. It's not my way or the highway. Doesn't work that way. Whether it's politics or whether it's life. Sports-wise, the greatest teams I've ever seen at West Virginia, and I've had the fortune to see some of the most successful teams. Our 88 team that went undefeated, played for the national championship. Our 93 team that went undefeated. Our basketball team that made it to the Final Four. There were not everyone in unity as far as when they first came into the program. They had all different things. We have all different cultures, all different belief systems. But what made them successful is that they were able to bring everything together and they had one focused goal. If Joe Mazzulla, who was our point guard on our 2010 team, just wanted to be the Joe Mazzulla that he was in high school and said, this is what I do, this is the only thing that I do, we never would have had the team that we had. You had to merge. That's what I'm talking about. Combining, coming together. This week, when you have conversations, how are we going to do this? How are we going to put this together? Be there to compromise. That's going to be a key to your success. Let's talk about gift zones, because I'm imagining at this point in your life, as you guys get ready to move on, senior years and then into college, and then what am I going to do after college? Let me share something that I think that we all have within us. We are all blessed with some form of a gift. I think that your goal should be, you should attempt to identify what your gift is. When you identify what your gift is, it will give you the opportunity to do something in your life's work that will give you constant fulfillment. It will give you happiness. It only makes sense, right? If you're in a situation and you don't enjoy doing it, regardless of how much the income is or whatever, you'll never have that true feeling of satisfaction. So how do you find out what your gift zone is? I would suggest to you that as you do certain things, at moments you'll say to yourself, man, I could do this for hours on end. In fact, I could do this, and if they didn't even pay me, I would love to do this. In my particular case, it's a play-by-play of games. Like, I knew when I started to do a game, like, man, this is it. So when you get that feeling, like, I could do this for free and would do this for free, raise a light and go like, okay, now, how do I do this for a career? If people come to you and say, hey, how are you doing that? Because I cannot do that. Like, how do you do that so easy? Ring a bell. They're identifying what you do, gift zone. Your journey now is to stick your nose into as many places as possible over the next several years to find out what's good and what's bad. Internships, opportunities, exposure to doing certain things, there's no such thing as a bad experience. Because every time you do something, it will either tell you that's what you should be doing or say that's not what I want to be doing, and it's a good thing when it's a no. Because then you're just limited and now you're closer to where you want to be. So don't think, day one, I know a lot of times people come to me, kids come to me and they say, I got to have my job figured out. No, you don't need to have your job figured out. It's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. Sniff, 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 you will find. The problem will be if you don't. I hate when kids come to me senior year at WVU and say, I want to be a sportscaster. Like, can you help? Too late, man. Too late. Clock's on. First day in college. 4-year clock starts. You need to be doing everything for 4 years so that by the time you're out, you're ready to go. Job-wise, along that line, you get hired for jobs based on what you will bring to someone to work. So if I'm going to hire someone, if you want to use a baseball term, 5-tool player. Can hit with power, run, right, throw. You come to me and say, I want to be a sportscaster. I say, give me, what have you done? I can do a talk show, I can do play-by-play, I can write script, I can shoot video, I can edit video. Next guy comes in, what do you do? I can edit video. Who am I hiring? 5 tools. Build your tool belt. Whatever field you go into, have a tool belt to make you desirable for someone that wants to hire you. Truth and honesty, let's go back to that. Excuses, paralyze. Excuses paralyze. Do you find yourself using excuses? It's always somebody else. Well, I would have done it, but they screwed me on this. I would have done it. It paralyzes, crushes you, stops you, stunts you. Don't use excuses. Use honesty. Use integrity. Sometimes it's more painful to tell someone the truth at that very moment. It will release and free you down the road. Over the course of this week, as you begin to talk and negotiate and compromise with people, if someone thinks you're bullshitting them, it's going to come back and get you. Be honest. Day one. Hey, I'd like to do that, but here's why we can't do that. Because of this, this, and that. Don't play them off. Use it in your everyday life. Tell the truth first. Tell the truth first. Maybe a little bit painful, might be a little bit tight. It will free you going forward. And at the end of the week, people will come to you. You know why? Because they know you're going to be honest. And you're going to be upstanding with them. And you're not going to BS them. Everyday life, for the rest of your life, tell the truth. It'll make things so much easier every single day. Last point. The society that we live in oftentimes focuses on dollars and money. So sometimes when you're in your position, and I was certainly there as well, you think I got to find the job that makes me the most money because money makes happiness. You got money, you're happy. No, not really. Money does not guarantee happiness. I can show you a lot of rich people that are miserable. Now, money makes your life easier. Money can make your life easier, no question about it. But here's the true gold. You want gold in your life? Again, this won't register right now, but your life's going to go by really quickly. And at the end of it all, it's not going to be your money that you're going to be remembered for. I think we're all here to touch someone else or groups of other people to make their life better, to leave a lasting impact on them. That is when you will get the true satisfaction and a feeling of success. It's not how many digits you got in your bank account. It's when you know you have done something and touched someone and given them a sense of direction, and they have gone on and they have benefited from that. And it can come across all different aspects of touching someone. You know, on a super small level, a lot of blind people listen to our broadcasts. And to me, that's special. They come to me, their family comes to me, and they say, my mom, my dad had their sight, don't have their sight anymore, and they depend on you to know, to listen to those games like you are their eyes. If I'm touching someone and giving them happiness and satisfaction through that, that's awesome. But it comes in every single thing that we do. Doctors who touch people and help people. Engineers who design things to help and benefit people. That's your goal. If you can look back at that and say, I did this and I helped this, that will be your ultimate satisfaction. Again, as I said, my 15 minutes is up. I'm at 14:10 and counting. Everything I just told you, one dude's opinion. You might say that's complete BS, don't buy any of it. You might say, you know what, there's a few nuggets there that I can take. That's one guy's thought. My pleasure to be with you all here. I hope you have wonderful work. I know that there were potential for questions. If you have any questions, we can certainly do that.
Yep. We have time for 4 questions.
4 questions. First one gets $1 million. Yes, sir.
Stand up, please. Stand up. Tell us who you are.
My name is RC Lewis Cabin. How did you get into sportscasting?
How did I get into sportscasting? You know, when I was young, I just liked sports. And I think we all start off with that feeling that we like sports, so I want to be a pro athlete. And then reality sets in. And you go, probably not a 6'4" white guys, size 16 feet that are of Italian descent playing in the NBA. And so I said, probably going to have to go to something else. And so it was just a love of doing that. And as a result, got into it, started sniffing it around like I had said, and said, this is something that I want to do.
Another question?
Yes, sir.
Here on the end. Who are you?
Hayden Hodge, Marion County. Is there a specific game that you really remember from WVU sports that sticks out to you?
It's a great question. So I'm going to answer with like about 3 or 4. 2010, beating Kentucky. to go to the Final Four. They had 6 players that were first-round draft picks. 6. John Wall, Boogie Cousins, all those dudes. We weren't supposed to beat those guys. 1. Sugar Bowl. We beat Georgia in Atlanta because that year the Sugar Bowl was held in Atlanta because of Hurricane Katrina. Georgia had just won the SEC championship. Their fans thought we had absolutely no shot whatsoever. We go down there and beat them. Fiesta Bowl. Rich Rodriguez had just resigned. We play Oklahoma. Sam Bradford was a freshman quarterback. He eventually won the Heisman, and we beat those dudes. But that's just like 3 of the all-time big ones. Are you a polar bear or a bee?
Polar bear or bee?
You said Marion County. Are you a Husky? What high school?
That's
That's the cabin.
Oh, where are you from?
Putnam County.
Putnam County. Give it out. Yes, sir, in the back.
Monroe Cabin, North County. How did you get into the entertainment business, or like, what would you like say to someone who would want to get into that business?
So it started as small as you can start. So when I was in high school, I started doing PA announcements in school. You know, like, hey, don't forget it's time to get your monthly physical or whatever, that kind of stuff. And then there was an Explorer's Post in my hometown that brought you into a radio station, and they showed you around. And I said, okay, this is kind of neat. And then when it came time to go to college, wanted to get into communications, and so just kind of little steps, little sniffs, as I said, along the way. And I said, this is something that I wanted to do. Yes.
Last question. Yep.
Solid States, I live in Panhandle County, but I'm from Berkeley County too.
Berkeley County, give it out.
Yeah. Why did you stay in West Virginia?
Why did I stay in West Virginia? It's a great question. Never thought I would. The reason I stayed in West Virginia was this. Each year I was here, so 1984, there was always a reason to stay. Our company expanded. We created the Metro News Radio Network in '86. I was given the ability to freelance and leave on weekends when Jack Fleming was the play-by-play announcer. I would go out and do the national Westwood College game of the week. So there was always a reason to stay. Met my wife here, had our first child in '91. It's a super safe place. It's a great place to raise a family. And as equal as that, in West Virginia, there's 55 counties, as you all know. And West Virginia University sports matter in 55 counties. So to me, I want to be involved in something where people care. And as you guys know, when the Mountaineers play, it's a big deal. Everyone cares. This is for those that don't know, this is a very unique situation. You don't go to other schools in other states where you can go from the Northern Panhandle, Weirton to Welsh, Martinsburg, and Matewan, and all points in between, and you see the flying WV. So to me, the fact that it's important is perhaps the biggest reason why I wanted to be here. You go to a lot of places, a lot of schools, it's like, is the team playing? I don't know. When do they play? It's not a big deal. It matters, and that's what always made it important to me. All right. I really, truly appreciate your time. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and it's a great day to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be. Stay well.
We do have a very quick favor to ask of you.
Favor.
Write your little bling, but maybe after the favor.
We have a very quick favor to ask you. A great memory of Mountaineer Boys State for me. One year, we not only had players. What year was that? We
had some ball players down here.
Yeah, with Coach
Stewart.
Coach Bill Stewart. You joined them and provided us with a mock play call for the next season. Could you do that for us?
Yeah. Give me, somebody yell out their name. No. Who wants to be the quarterback?
Josh Love.
Josh Love? Josh Love, you're the quarterback. Give me a running back.
Marcus Allen.
Who?
Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen? Is that a real person, or are we just using the former NFL guy?
That's my actual name.
Okay, you're in, man. Marcus Allen, you're running. Give me a receiver.
Sam Goodwin.
Sam Goodwin? shout out to Sam Goodwin. You got some, these are good names. These are good sports names. All right, these are good. All right, let's think about this. Let's think about this. All right, here we go. Okay, let's think about this. Seven seconds remaining on the stop clock, fourth quarter. Just 7 seconds remain on the fate of the Mountaineer football season. It's West Virginia, 1 touchdown away from winning the Big 12 Conference Championship, and it all comes down to one play. It is 4th down and 5 from the 17-yard line. 4th and 5 from the 17. The Mountaineers down by 6. West Virginia breaks from the huddle. Quarterback Josh Love, single receiver to his left, twin receivers to his right. Marcus Allen in the backfield. Goodwin out to the wide right. Checks the defense. Here's the snap. Love dropping back. Pressure comes, rolling to his right, looking downfield. He pumps. He throws a deep ball into the end zone. Goodwin's there. Back corner. Caught. Touchdown! I want to put that on Twitter. Stand up again. Stand up again. Ready? I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. You give me let's go Mountaineers. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Love you, brother. Like I said, let me try to find one of these that's working.
All right, man. On behalf of the American Legion Mountaineer Boys State, we thank you very much for taking your time to be here. It was a great presentation from my perspective. We're going to give you a little bit of what they call that bling to take with you. I don't know if you golf or not, but we're going to give you a Mountaineer Boys State ball cap and a couple staff shirts to wear there, Mr. Preedy. Thank you very much.
American Legion Mountaineer Boys State, Mr. Robbie Robinson.
How you doing, guys? Good. You having a good time today? Yes, sir. You know, it was going to be kind of hard to compete with Mr. Caridi that was up here, but I think I got something that can, and it's that piece of cloth right there. Today we're going to talk about the flag, how to take care of it, what we should do with it, talk about all the flags that are up here, talk about some of these things on the table. Last night you saw this demonstration of the table. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Are our flags set up correctly? If you guys can take a look at what's up here and what's over here. Are they set up correctly? Who said no? Yes, sir. Go ahead. Why? Never mind. Okay. So they are set up correctly?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay. What? What's your maybe about?
It looks correct, so I'll say
It look. Okay. Yes, sir.
I don't think the American flag is. Isn't the gold and cordon supposed to be in the back?
It depends on how it's furled on the pole. That really doesn't matter. The reason it has the gold around it, it's a ceremonial flag that could be used either indoors or outdoors. Say in a parade, you would have the fringe on the flag. Okay? Yes, sir.
It is correct.
It is correct. Okay, well, thank you. The reason they're correct is because they're set up in precedence. Now, which flag's the most important up here? Right. It's over here on the right side, right? It's actually on your left, right? Yeah. The right is the position of honor. That's where that flag is to go. So if you are setting up a room with flags, a good way to do that is look at it and say, my left is the right as you're looking at it. But that is the position of honor. That's where it always is. Now, if you have them all in a row, it's on the right. Can they all be the same height?
no.
Why not?
American flag is going to be tallest.
Not if it's in the position of honor. If it's all the way on the right, it's okay. Now, if you were to put it in the middle, it would have to be taller like you had said. Yes, that's correct. Over here we have several flags set up, and they're set up, as we already said, in order of precedence. So you have national flags first, then you would have organizational flags next, then possibly some society flags or whatever. Now the one that's all the way over there by itself, we talked about that last night, because that belongs with this table, and it's alone by itself, okay? Who knows what I mean when I say half staff? What's it mean?
It means it is halfway up the pole, sir,
Right. Why do we do that?
to show respect for on certain occasions, such as death of the senator or a particular day, such as I believe Pearl Harbor.
That's absolutely correct, what he just said. Now, who can put the flag at half mast? Yes, sir. Anybody else? The governor of Maryland? But the governor of Maryland can't do it? The stipulation to that is it has to be in the state that they are governor of. But you're correct. You're correct.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes, sir.
on your first question, I do believe the flags are incorrect.
Uh-oh. Why are they incorrect?
As you said, order of precedence.
Mm-hmm.
The Marine Corps goes in front of the United States Navy.
Ooh, that is correct. Does anybody know why? Does anybody know why the Marine Corps is first? Even though they are Department of the Navy. Yes, sir.
The Marine Corps was founded earlier.
But if you look at the book, it says they were both founded in the same year. This question came up last year in camp, and we checked and found out why that happened. There was a time in the U.S. that the U.S. Navy was disbanded. They said we didn't need a Navy. So the Marine Corps, when that happened, went and got their document signed, and a week later the government said, oh, we do need a Navy, put the Navy back in, and the Navy is like a month after the Marines, so the Marines are always first, even though they're a department of the Navy. So that's good. Good question. Thank you, sir.
Ron,
Yes, sir.
one thing that was mentioned, the Marine Corps is part of the Department of the Navy. Does everybody know what department? The Navy is our Ubers. They take us around.
I see. Okay. So we were talking about half-staff. We talked about the governor or the president can do that. And he mentioned who we can do it for. Now, if you're at a parade and flags are coming marching by, what is your actions as a bystander of the parade? Stand up, okay. Anything else? Remove your hat, okay. Anything else?
Hand over your heart.
Hand over your heart, okay. Got all those right. The flag code says that when the flag is 6 paces from getting to you, you should do all those things until it's 6 paces past you. So that's something else to remember for that. Now, I mentioned the flag code. In 1923, about 68 organizations got together to figure out how to take care of our flag, because you had different organizations doing different things to the flag. Different, how to fold it, how to fly it, how many feet to fly it up in the air, what size the flag should be, what colors. So they all got together and came up with what's called the United States Flag Code. Now, what do you think about a document that tells you right at the beginning there's no punishment if you don't follow this document? What'd you say? Don't obey it. Well, but it says it in the federal code. It doesn't matter if you don't follow these rules. Do you think that's worth having? No? Why'd you say no? Logan, why'd you say no?
Because it makes it pointless to withstand it.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I say it is worth having because that's part of what the First Amendment says, and so it upholds the spirit of the flag itself.
Okay, that's close. The flag code is actually a moral code. I mean, we all know, sitting in this room, we're not supposed to take this flag, throw it on the floor, and stomp it and leave. We're not supposed to do that. If we see it on the floor, we're supposed to pick it up and set it up like it's supposed to be. So the flag code, although you were correct, Logan, I mean, you wouldn't have to follow it if, it doesn't make sense to do it if it says not to. However, it is a moral code. It's stuff that we know that we shouldn't do to our flag. So, we're a little short on time for this session. So what we're going to do, I'm going to deviate a little bit and talk about these 4 pillars that are up here. Then we'll talk to them a little bit more about the flag. American Legion was founded on 4 pillars in 1919. The first pillar, oh, you're on that end, okay. The first pillar was veterans. The organization was started in France, and they wanted to make sure them and their families were taken care of when they came home. The second one was defense. We wanted to make sure the U.S. had a strong defense to keep going. The third is Americanism, to make sure Americanism things are taken care of, we're all on the same page. And the last is children and youth, to make sure that our country withstands the right way of honor and everything with our youth. Those are the 4 pillars of the American Legion. Now, this program you're in talks about all those programs and make sure that you know these programs. It's up to you to take it out and spread it to other kids and other youth, other schools, whatever. Now, there's a couple things on the tables here we want to talk about on the flags. When we talked about half-mast, have you ever seen a flagpole that has no string or cord on it? Yes? No? You can't put that flag at half-mast. I mean, you can lower the pole, but the flag is still at the top of the pole. So the flag code changed something, put in a black streamer can be put on that flag to depict that that flag is at half-mast. The stipulation to that is the black streamer has to be the same size as the stripes on the flag. So if it's this flag, you'd have to get the stripe the same as that. On a 3x5 flag, that streamer would work. Now, the marker that's up here, has anyone ever seen that? Seen one of those? Do we know what it's for? Yes, sir.
Graves.
It's for a grave. Usually, if you see one of those in a cemetery, that means there's a veteran interred there. Okay? The two flags that are on the table up here. We have the blue. What do you think the blue flag means? Let's try someone else, okay? Nobody knows? Yes, sir.
Honor.
Well, it's honor, but why would you fly that? Yes, sir.
It's for the mothers of service members.
That's pretty close. That's pretty close. If you see one of these flags flying at a house or in the window of a house, that is that family has someone serving in the armed forces. Now, the gold one, what do you think the gold one means? Now you can say your point. It's for someone who has passed, a family who has had someone pass in the service, correct. So that's just something, if you see those flags, that's what they are. Now, there's two flags on this table over here that are two different materials. We're not going to unfold them and show you, but there are two different materials. One is, and they're both the same size, okay? One is an interment flag that can be used, and that one is cotton. That's the one over here. We wouldn't fly that outside because it would be ripped to shreds and faded and all that. This flag is called an all-weather flag and can be flown outside, which would not tear, rip, and be destroyed as fast. That's the difference of those two flags. Now, the other flag that's up here, the large one, it's different than these two. And we're not going to unfold it either. You want to do it? Okay, we're going to unfold it. You tell me what's wrong with this flag. Wrong material, not necessarily. Yes, sir. Is the what?
Is it the amount of stars?
The amount of stars.
I don't know.
Well, you're absolutely correct, because that is a 48-star flag.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you is, can you still fly that flag today? Why? Well, that's true. We have two more states. But that flag was approved to fly. So, as long as it's serviceable, you can still fly it. There are people that were killed in action that would fly that flag in honor of their death. So, you can still fly it because it was a certified flag. Now, if a flag is, somebody mentioned the wrong material, or ripped, or torn, or faded, that flag is considered unserviceable and should not fly. Now, if you have a flag like that, how do you get rid of it? Yes, sir.
You cut the stripes separately and you burn each individual piece.
Are you in the Scouts?
I wasn't. Scouts.
Okay. That is, you're right. That's the way the Scouts do it. There's different ways of doing it. What method is used to retire it, destroy it? And that would be burning, okay? But it has to be done in a dignified ceremony. That's what we do. Now, in the Legion, you fold the flag up correctly like this, and you inter it in a dignified ceremony. Why do you think we use burning as the method?
So they're not seen in the trash.
Well, that's very close. So you cannot take it. Yes, sir.
It's more permanent.
More permanent, okay. It's, yes, sir.
It's not disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful. All of those answers are correct and very close. You don't want to use any other method because you want to make sure it is destroyed in its entirety. You don't want someone pulling out of the trash, like someone mentioned, a half a flag and trying to put it up a pole. You want to make sure it's completely destroyed. That's why we do that. Now, to make it, if a flag has a stain on it, let's say we took these two gentlemen here at front, Brandon and Samuel, out and put the flag up today. And it rains, they drop it accidentally, and it's got a big mud stain down the center of it. Can we wash that? Who says no? Raise your hands. Who says no? Can't wash it. So we have to throw it away? We'd have to do what with it? But I mean, it's brand new.
Wipe it off.
It's brand new. Who said wipe it off? Okay?
It has to be professionally cleaned.
Professionally cleaned. That's correct. You can do that. You can wash a flag as long as it remains the same color, the same shape, as long as it remains the word serviceable. It has no rips, it has no stains, it has no faded colors. All of that. This flag over here that they're looking at here, this small one, who would want to fly that over their house? Why wouldn't we fly that over someone's house? It's ripped. Okay, anything else? Faded? Ripped? Well, I'm wrinkled. We're not, so you can't say that. Stain. Okay, it's unserviceable. Who said that? Okay. That flag is unserviceable, and we would take that to a retirement ceremony and retire it. Okay? So, we got just a few minutes left, and what I want to do is open it up to questions to you guys to see if I can answer them or we can answer them. Yes, sir.
How do you professionally clean a flag?
Professionally clean it, you could take it to a dry cleaner, and they would do that depending on the material. They would have what was needed to take care of it. Okay? Yes, sir.
Is it just part of the moral code, or do you get punished if you were to throw away, say, a ripped on the flag in your garbage can and someone were to see it?
Well, there is no punishment. I mean, there's nothing to say that you can't do that. I don't believe that you should do that because it's disrespectful to our country to do that. But there is no penalty for that. No. Yes, sir. There are some others, but each individual branch of the service has their own little code about their flag, but it's very similar. Somebody, you had in the back here.
How do you organize one of these official retirements?
Say that again.
How do you organize one of the official retirement ceremonies?
For who? A retirement, for a retirement of the flag, you mean? Well, I'm going to tell you. Tomorrow evening, you're going to see one at the amphitheater here. You're going to see how we retire a flag. So I'm going to not answer your question until then. Yes, sir.
Do you have to pay someone to retire a flag?
Usually, I wouldn't. I wouldn't think you would want to pay someone to do that. But usually in organizations, your veterans organizations, some federal organizations have ceremonies that they do sometimes through the year. In my hometown, they have a drop box for flags that are unserviceable that is put in the drop box, and every so often the veterans groups go by, take the flags, and take them to a retirement ceremony. And the Boy Scouts also do that. You were the scout, right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it better to fly a less serviceable flag than no flag at all?
There's one every year. Every year. I get one every year. That is a very good point. I mean, the flag code says they shouldn't be ripped, faded, and all. But if that's all you have, and it's still recognizable as a U.S. flag, I would do that. But as soon as possible, I would get a new one up there. Another thing we do at my Legion post, if we see a flag at someone's house that is unserviceable, we will take them a new flag. Sometimes they're not even home. We just go, take their flag down, put a new one up. So, we haven't been shot yet, so we're good.
Been a little
Yes, sir.
wounded, but we ain't been shot.
So is it part of the moral code, like the angle at which the flag is hung? Because like out there on the big poles, it's straight up, and I've seen some like in neighborhoods where it's on a pole like this.
Well, it depends on which style of pole you have. There are those that some off an angle, and yes, the flag code does have different angles of how it does, but you'd have to see size of the building, size of the pole, and size of the flag to do all that. So, yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
My question was, so there's like an order of precedence or whatever. What, like in the situation where there's like an international flag or like a tribal flag, how did those fit in?
Well, I spent some time in Germany in my service career. And every day they played the national anthems. The host country usually gets to put their flag first. The example in our country is the UN. If you notice when you see pictures, all the flags in front, the first 5 are the original people of the original countries in the UN. It's in our country, but ours is, I don't think always first. I think they alternate those. So the host country can do it, but it's a fine line of how international does it in various countries, like NATO and whatever. So,
Director Robinson.
yes.
Our National Vice Commander, Mark Shreve, looked up the flag code pertaining to our stumper question about the unserviceable flag. Is it
Yes.
better to fly an unserviceable flag or no flag at all? The answer is do not fly an unserviceable flag.
Very good. There's your answer.
So you're better off not flying.
And I was going to do this, but since our assistant director has already done this, I would like to introduce our National Vice Commander visiting us this week, Mr. Mark Shreve. And I would like to let you all know that he's from the state of Georgia. And he actually lives there. He's not from there. He lives there because he's actually from West Virginia. Smoke hole, right? He's from up at Smoke Hole, and he moved out from West Virginia, went to WVU, right? So he's been to our Legion conventions. Did you have any other words, sir, that you wanted to bring to the boys?
Well, absolutely. Y'all have a great week here at West Virginia. boys state and know that you're a very small percent that's allowed to go to the American Legion Boys State. If you really think about it across the country right now, there's probably about 30 to 40 states having their Boys State program. And if you think about the scope of having 200 here, 200 in Georgia, 800 in Ohio, when you really look at it, you're going to have you are less than 1% of young men that are juniors, graduating to be seniors, that are allowed to go to this program. So you know that you are special, and being special carries a certain burden, and that burden is to learn and apply. Thank you.
Okay, we have any other? Yes, sir.
Does the MIA POW flag take precedent even though it's further down the line?
It takes precedence because it is considered an organizational flag, and for the MIA POW Commission. So they dictate where their flag flies and where it can. Recently, there was a thing that said on a standard pole, the POW flag must be under the U.S. flag, and then a state flag would go. That is part of things that commission does. So yes, it has precedence, but for our purposes, to recognize our MIA and POWs, we put it off by itself like that. Yes, sir.
For the blue American flag, or like the blue line American flag for police officers,
Yes.
and the similar one for firefighters,
Mhm.
is there any flag code specifications for those, and then where would you fly them if you were to fly them?
That is from your various police departments or fire departments. Those are not listed in the flag code, to my knowledge, unless there's a recent change. So they are on their own. It would not, if you put it in preference up here, it would be as closer to the far end because it is, again, an organizational society type flag. Yes, sir.
Are the Blue Lives Matter or Fire Lives Matter flags that are using the U.S. flag modified?
That's basically what he just asked. He just asked about the blue line that's looks like an American flag, but it's blue and has one black. That's used to honor a police officer, and those are considered society flags or organizational flags. Yes, sir.
I have a question. So over there, the Air Force flag, why is that not a traditional flag?
The Air Force flag, what?
Air Force over there, is that one for like all the branches?
Oh, the ribbons. Okay, those are called streamers.
You talking about these?
Those are called streamers. Now, if you ever see an honor guard on television, you'll notice that they'll walk through and the Army flag has all these things hanging off of it. And then there's the Marine Corps and the Navy. All of them. Those are called streamers. They put on for battles they've been in, campaigns they've won, things like that. That's what those are. Those are just there showing all the different branches of the service. That's all those are. Yes, sir.
Would the Confederate flag take any precedence?
It is a flag. It was a flag of a country. There are some places that will not allow it to fly. There are some places that are. There's nothing in the flag code that says it can or it can't. Okay, Chris, we're about out of time, right? Okay, I want to leave you with just a couple final thoughts here. You know, you guys are here, and we do a lot of Americanism here. But the most important thing is that piece of cloth, a lot of people died so you could sit in these chairs today. And when you disrespect the flag, you're actually disrespecting yourself because that flag is you. You're part of that flag, just like all the people that went before you. So when you go out of here, respect the flag, treat it like it's supposed to. I mean, the national anthem's only like 2 minutes long. You can stand long enough to show a little bit of honor for that. and then move on. I thank you all for your attention. I thank you for your questions. Chris, Nationalist here, Federalist
Yep, West Virginia.
at the West Virginia building. Thank you, guys.